What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and in this video we'll be talking about the Bungie weekly update and the details we got about the February update, which is coming very soon and has a ton of changes. One quick note about the Bungie weekly update that comes every Thursday, of course, and gives us information about Destiny and Bungie. It's actually been renamed to This Week at Bungie. I think they thought the Bungie weekly update was a little bit too confusing as a name, and people thought it was like a patch and could be confused as patch notes or an actual in-game update, where it's actually just an update on the community. So the Bungie weekly update is now called This Week at Bungie, just so you know what it's called. So let's take a look at the actual February update and some things to expect. So it's going to be arriving on the 9th of February, of course, next Tuesday, at the same time as the Crimson Days event, which of course will be the new microtransactions and the new Crimson Doubles event that's happening. I'm definitely going to be covering that on this channel. The update is going to be called 2.1.1, those are the actual numbers of it. So the first major thing that's included in this is actually a pretty big change to PvP. Now what's going to be happening is that you won't spawn with special ammo in 3v3 modes, which is really interesting. So it's not going to be like Control, and it's not going to be Clash, the 6v6 modes. It's only going to be in the 3v3 mode, so that includes things like Trials of Osiris, that includes Skirmish, and also Salvage and Elimination. So those are the modes it's going to be affecting, and this is a very controversial move. I feel like you'll either love it or you'll hate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So it's definitely going to mean some weapons are going to be really OP, mainly looking at the Invective, the shotgun that of course regenerates ammo over time. So that could be very useful, seeing as you're not going to spawn with special ammo. They said that their goal was to reduce the amount of times when you'd spawn, run down some lines of sight, and then just get sniped. So that's kind of their goal, or maybe someone rushes you with a shotgun. The idea is that of course you need to go around and wait a little bit and then pick up one of these special ammo crates to of course pick up your special ammo. Now I personally really like this. I'm very interested to see how this is going to turn out. Obviously we don't know how it's actually going to function in game, but I'm looking very optimistic, and I say that as a sniper myself. I snipe literally all the time, and I'm the exact kind of person that would pull out a sniper and try and get some easy kills off of the first kind of spawn when people run down the lines of sight. So this does affect me, but I still think, I've always said for a long time, that I think a lot of people kind of rely on their specials, especially snipers, way too often. And I feel like half the Trials of Osiris maps are just completely dominated by snipers. You walk down any line of sight and there's just a red glint looking at you. And I say that again, I'm a massive sniper myself. Like I snipe all the time in Trials, especially maps like Pantheon. That's a perfect example. And I'll even include a clip that I got recently with the sniper on Pantheon. It's an insane clip I posted on Twitter that some of you might have seen, but this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So it'll encourage you to use your primary weapon. That's something I'd definitely love to see. People just using their primaries and not necessarily relying on their snipers. So I'm definitely interested to see how this is going to turn out. Again, we don't know how it's going to be, whether it'll be good or bad. I might end up hating it, but I'm definitely optimistic. I'm thinking it should be a good update. And like I said, it's not going to be in Clash or Control, so don't worry about that. But definitely leave your comments down below. I want to see your thoughts. Do you like it or do you not like it? I'm really interested to see what you guys think about this as a whole. Now, something else they're adding brand new in this update is going to be a new playlist mode called Freelance. Now, this is essentially the modes we know and love, but there's going to be one difference, in that there's no fire teams allowed. This is a solo only mode, and it's going to be happening on a weekly rotation. So just like the random Inferno modes that show up on the top, it's going to be up there, and it's going to be an option. Of course, it's not going to be in all modes. It's an option that's going to be up top in the matchmaking screen. You're going to be able to pick this mode called Freelance, 3v3 or 6v6. 6v6, of course, is going to feature Clash, Control, and Rift, and the Freelance 3v3 is going to feature a mix of Elimination, Salvage, and Skirmish. So again, every reset on Tuesday is going to change what mode is in Freelance, but it's going to be one for 6v6 and one for 3v3. I'm definitely liking the idea of that. It seems like a very chill mode, and I would have loved this idea for Rift, Iron Banner. But when I play solo, I would absolutely love to just go solo with other people and not have to worry about facing up against other teams. Just knowing that everyone else is also solo like you is also a very good feeling. So I'm looking forward to that. Kind of similar to Mercenary, if you ever played the old Call of Duty games. Wasn't a too popular playlist, but it definitely was an option if you just want to hop in and not have to worry about going against full teams. Now, I mentioned in a few videos back how they were changing the matchmaking and reducing the amount that skill-based matchmaking had an influence on it, and improving the connection of games, of course. Now, that was in Iron Banner, and like I said, it wasn't in Crucible just yet, but since they have actually added it to Skirmish, Grumble, and Control, and then tomorrow it's going to be in Trials of Osiris, and then on Tuesday they're looking to put it into Crimson Doubles. So that is how the matchmaking is going. There's also something else very strange, which they're adding in brand new. Now, this is called the Damage Referee, and they were very vague about it, but essentially what they said is that it's going to be a connection improvement. This means that good connections should feel even better. So if you have a good connection, normally your actual matches should feel a lot better. They should feel more responsive and snappy, apparently. And if you have a bad connection, that's going to make your games actually feel worse. Now, the goal with this, apparently, was to make people with bad connections more motivated to fix their connections and make them better, and kind of make it seem like it's their fault. But I'm not really too sure sure how this idea is going to work, because some people, or the majority of people with bad connections, it's not really their fault. There's nothing they can do about it. They might live somewhere where good internet isn't available. So I'm not sure how good of an idea this is. And of course, this is just an idea they're working on, so hopefully it isn't too punishing on people with bad connections. But it seems like what they're going to do is basically, when there's someone with a bad connection, it affects everyone in the lobby. And if someone with a red bar, all of your interactions with them is going to be just as bad, and your gunfights are going to be really dodgy. He might be way ahead of you, or you might be way ahead of him. But with this new damage referee, if he has a bad connection, that's all on him, and you're going to win the gunfight every single time. And there's no way you can use a bad connection to your advantage and start winning gunfights simply because they can't hit you. So it seems like a good idea in practice, but again, we'll have to see how it works out. Now, there'll also be some improvements to the Kingsfall raid, especially the teleporting ogres, which is cool to see because that was quite annoying when they'd do that, and apparently they've fixed the problem, in addition to an issue with the camera angle when you were carrying the relic. Now, the last thing they mentioned is that you're now going to be able to have a chance to get the Vienna Singer ship from the Lost to Light Black Spindle mission. So before, that was only available as a very rare chance to get when you actually got the Black Spindle, and it was a one-time only thing. The first time you did the Lost to Light mission on Heroic, of course, when you get Black Spindle, you had a chance to get it. If you didn't get it the first time, you had no more chances to get it. But now, next time you load up the game with the update installed and Lost to Light is the daily, then you'll be able to get the ship once again. And that's about it for the update. They did mention that next week they'll have something else to share, but I have no idea what that could possibly be. Obviously, I would definitely hope that it will be some new DLC or some new updates to PvE or new content, something like that. But we have no idea what it could be. I mean, at that point, there's really nothing else they could be updating us about, seeing as the February update and also Crimson Days will have already been out. So there really is nothing else on the roadmap. The next thing is this thing that's supposed to be bigger than any event we've seen so far. So hopefully they give us some info about what's next for Destiny and some new content. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one.